So I just thought I'd do another video, um, just really an update. So I've had a cold after an energy healing session. Um, I'm quite spiritual and believe in that. I won't get into that now, but yeah, I got told there was probably a lot of clearing needed to be done, and I think that might be why I ended up with the cold. Um, I am feeling slight improvement, I guess. Um, so that's one thing. Also just feeling a bit frustrated with the system. Um, I am doing my best to find ways to support myself and earn an income. I'm exploring that, and it feels like there's quite a lot of I won't say I think they're unintentional barriers, but it does feel a bit tricky to navigate that. And also in terms of my health, especially. So I've just recently seen physio, and last year we were talking about, when I saw the physio, we were talking about doing some form of physical activity, and how swimming is a really good option. And at the time I was like, yeah, I just cannot even contemplate doing that right now. I can barely get out of bed on most days, let alone get myself dressed, get myself to a leisure centre where there's a pool, then get undressed into a swimming costume. I still am dealing with really bad incontinence, but I do feel it's slightly more manageable than it was back then. And get in the pool, that for me is sensory overload. Just, yeah, huge sensory nightmare. And then actually do the actual physical activity, which would leave me really, really drained, fatigued, sore, aches, pain, all of that. And then I'd have to get out. I can't just, get myself dry quickly and go home. It's a whole palaver of, I'd then have to wash my hair, wash my skin, because the chlorine, everything in there, I pick things up really easily. So if I go swimming in a public swimming pool, I really need to make sure that I'm thoroughly cleaning myself afterwards. That then, all this triggers post-exertional malaise. There's a whole load of things that in here that can do that. And yeah, I just decided that I wouldn't be able to manage it, because I've still got other, I'm a mum and just trying to live my life. I'm really struggling, essentially. Anyway, I sort of, after we got back from our holiday in February, was feeling a bit like maybe, maybe going swimming might be helpful. So I went back to the physio and said I wanted to do the referral. She wasn't sure about it, because this was a different physio, somebody new. Said she'd look into it, and to be fair, called me back. I thought that I then had to fill out a form and send it off. But I've gone on there, and it needs to be filled out by the healthcare professional. So I thought, well, I must have misheard, and I'll give it, a couple of weeks for them to do it. Not heard anything. So went back on, or maybe I've got, doubting myself, maybe I've got it wrong. Went back in to fill out the form to send off. But no, it has to be done by the medical professional. So just spoken to the surgery, and they're like, oh, normally it gets printed off and brought in. I'm like, but the instructions are, telling me to do it online. And, oh, it's just, when you're dealing with energy limiting conditions, you know, your energy is really precious. And on, you know, just with my whole neurodivergence, I really hate, you know, talking on the phone. I find really difficult. I'm hearing impaired and have tinnitus. Phone conversations are not great for me. All these things require energy, can trigger post exertional malaise. It's just all adds up, and it just makes life feel very unnecessarily complicated and challenging and draining. I guess is the worst thing about all of this, is just how drained I end up feeling just trying to do what I think most people would consider to be very basic life admin things. Just trying to get a bit of support and do something for myself that is supposed to help me to feel better. That's essentially what I want. Is I don't want to be in this situation where I can't get through a full day without having to go back to bed and lie down and rest, sleep, whatever. I just want to be able to function the way that most people take for granted. That really is the crux of it. This is turning out to be a lot longer than I intended it to, because I'm sort of trying to process as I'm going along here. But yeah, just thought I'd come on and share that. Trying to think, you know, how can we just get to a point where we can simplify these things and make them so that they're not so challenging for people who aren't neurotypical, who aren't physically 100% well, mentally 100% well, people who want to get themselves better but are stuck in this system where it feels like it's making it difficult. Thanks for listening.